My friend's boyfriend gave me an inappropriately expensive gift for my birthday. How do I react? Hey everyone, last week I celebrated my birthday with my friend group. We're all fairly close, and whilst we've never discussed presents or gifts explicitly, we all kind of naturally fell into an unspoken pattern around what kind of birthday gifts we give to each other. We do gifts, but they're usually in the 10-40 euro range. Think things like a book, a voucher for theater tickets, maybe a nice bottle of wine, that kind of stuff. We're all young professionals or grad students, and that just fits our general income level. A good friend of mine brought her boyfriend to the party, and he gave me a gift of his own, separate from my friends. Without going into too much detail, it was a small object that had a very thoughtful connection to a trip I took in winter. I was genuinely very thankful for the gift and thought it was lovely. However, when I unpacked the item at home, something about it just caught my eye. Certain parts of the item that I would have expected to be made of glass didn't look like glass. I ended up Googling the maker's mark on the bottom and found the exact same item online for the price of 750 euros. Now, it'd be one thing if this guy was a trust fund kid for whom that kind of money was just peanuts. I'd still feel uncomfortable, but at least there'd be some logic to this then. But my friend's relationship with this guy already has massive problems, largely centered around him being underemployed and making her pick up the tab for their shared lifestyle to an undue degree. We honestly all expect the relationship to fizzle out soon, because they obviously aren't compatible in some key aspects. So now I've got this 750 euro item on my shelf, and I've no clue how to handle this. It feels extremely inappropriate to have this thing. I'd feel uncomfortable accepting this sort of gift from almost anyone I know, but the fact that it's a friend's romantic partner, I'm gay, and her boyfriend knows, but still, and B, said friend has issues with her partner's handling of his finances just makes it even worse. It's also a highly specific item that I don't think he'd be likely to just have, so I'm pretty certain he must have bought this for the occasion and must be aware of its value. What do I do? My friend seems to be totally unaware of the value of the item. Do I tell her? Do I contact the boyfriend and ask him what the fuck he was thinking? How would you handle this? TLDR. Friend's boyfriend gave me 750 euro birthday gift. Friend seems to be unaware of true value of the item and already has issues with boyfriend's handling of money. How do I handle this? Update. To summarize the original post, my 26F friend's 26F perpetually broke boyfriend 28M's gave me a gift for my birthday. It initially looked like a thoughtfully chosen, normal gift with a lovely connection to a recent trip to my mother's home country I took in winter, but after growing suspicious of the quality of the materials, I realized that it was in fact an antique worth hundreds of euros. Theories as to what happened included him not being aware of the item's value, possibly having bought it from someone who didn't know what they were selling, or him trying to somehow hurt his girlfriend, my friend, and/or trying to hit on me in a bizarre, inappropriate way. I ended up texting my friend and telling her that I had researched the gift and discovered it was worth a very inappropriate amount of money. She was very surprised by the entire situation, especially considering her boyfriend, now ex, but more on that later, is perpetually broke and makes her foot the bill for their shared lifestyle. She came over to my place and together, we called him on speakerphone, where she demanded some answers. Long story short, he stole it from his own mother. He's still being a bit shady about some details, but we managed to piece together the sequence of events to a satisfactory degree. My friend was supposed to be coming to my birthday party straight from work. When she left her office, she realized she had forgotten the gift she had planned for me, a book, at home. Since she was already running late and her place is pretty far from both her work and my flat, she chose to text her boyfriend, who was having dinner at his parents' home at the time. She knew he was there and knew his parents lived close to me. So she asked him to just buy a copy of the same book at a bookshop on his way to my place so they'd have a gift. For reasons known only to him, he did not choose this simple, reasonable solution to the "we forgot our gift" issue. Instead of leaving 5 minutes early to pick up another copy of the book, he instead chose to just grab a random item off his mother's living room shelf without asking her. He had no idea what it was, just thought it looked pretty, took it, and stuffed it in a paper bag. He also did not text back my friend or react to her calls, so she reasonably assumed he hadn't read her message and ended up going back to get the book, which was why they arrived separately and with separate gifts. Meanwhile, the boyfriend had unknowingly gifted me not just any antique, no, this item had been passed down to his mother from her 3 times great-grandmother. It had been in his family's possession for literal centuries, and was the only tangible connection she, his mother, still had to her home country, which incidentally is also my mother's home country, which he wasn't aware of, meaning that what I thought was a thoughtful connection to my trip there was a total coincidence. He had no idea of the item's cultural significance. My friend immediately made him call his mom to fess up to the entire situation. His mother had been running herself ragged, trying to figure out where this item disappeared to for days. Obviously, she never suspected thievery and was blaming herself terribly for having lost something this important. The boyfriend actually had the gall to try to convince her not to make her call his mom. He wanted to sweep the entire thing under the rug. Of course, we didn't let that happen. His mother came by my place this morning and I returned the item to her, along with some apologies for not starting investigations immediately and some nice chocolate. We had a lovely conversation about our shared cultural heritage. I assured her that the item had been treated with dignity for the entire time it was in my possession, and we parted ways with a hug. She also told me that my initial estimate of the item's value was incorrect. It's actually worth even more money. It would probably sell for a 4-figure sum at auction. I don't know what she wants to do with her son, but I hope she whoops his ass. My friend, for obvious reasons, broke up with him. Lessons learned: Google suspicious gifts and lock away your sentimentals, valuables when people you're not entirely sure about come over. The gall of this man. TLDR: the suspiciously expensive gift was, in fact, stolen. The boyfriend swiped it off his mom's shelf, not knowing what it was or how much it was worth. I returned it to her and hope she whoops his ass. I cheated on my husband, and now I suspect he's seeing another woman. I know I did something awful and disgusting, and when I couldn't take the guilt anymore, I cut off my affair partner and confessed everything to my husband. He got more upset and depressed than angry, and I begged for him to not divorce me. I proposed counseling, therapy, even allowing him to have sex with other women, but he wasn't interested. He said he wanted to try to work us out, and I jumped in, being the best wife a man can ask for. I cook his favorite dishes, leave him loving notes, and bought new lingerie to entice him. His reactions are lukewarm at best. He smiles and thanks me, but not once he has said he loves me since I have confessed. He barely initiates anything, and I basically have to push myself on him, not that he complains. Sometimes we talk about this, but I think I still lost the man I love. His behavior with me feels very artificial, and nothing changes his facade. I can be playful, I can be sad, I can get angry, and I can get seductive. His reaction is always this stupid smile and polite words. He was so emotional and sincere before all of this happened. I want him to let out his true emotions with me, even if he hates me. I still love him so much. What can I do to fix this? TLDR: I cheated on my husband. He didn't get angry and is always kind with me, but I feel he's become indifferent to me. He knows I cheated. We didn't separate, and I begged him to not divorce and let me fix this. He agreed, but his behavior since my confession has basically been one of indifference. Like I wrote on my last post, I do my best to be the best wife he could ask for. I cook his favorite foods, get him gifts, screw his brains out every night. He just smiles and thanks me. He acts kind and never yells at me, but I feel his icy indifference under that mask of courtesy. 2 weeks ago, he started coming home late, very late, and when he does, he just goes to bed. I asked him what's going on, and he told me in the kindest way possible that it's not my business. I call him when he stays out, and he picked up only once. I heard a woman laughing in the background. I am starting to think he is cheating back on me. It fucking hurts. If he told me, at least I would do my best to stomach it. I deserve this after all. But he won't tell me, he just shuts me out. A common friend told me she spotted him in a car with a woman she didn't recognize, and this felt like a stab in the heart. She said she couldn't describe her exactly because she wore big sunglasses, but she recognized my husband because of his particular taste in neckties. They were talking, but my friend said that from their position, it looked like they were holding their hands, or one of them was touching the other's lap. I don't know what to do. If he is having an affair, I deserve it, but I need to know. The uncertainty is killing me. Should I confront him? Should I try to find out more? Update. He left me. I did like you guys said and begged him to talk to me. He didn't want to, but I cried and yelled so much I puked all over. He got softer with me, he helped me clean up, and we talked. I asked him if he was cheating on me, and he said he was talking with someone but didn't do anything with her. I asked if she was the woman my friend saw him with. He thought on it a little, but said no, it was another woman whom he met a month ago in his office. I asked him how could he, and said I gave him permission, and he didn't do anything besides unloading his problems and our situation with her. But he played it like he was having a full affair, so I could feel what he felt. Especially because according to him, I neglected him and made it obvious I was cheating on him. He said he was suffering and I was almost rubbing it in his face. I told him I wasn't doing it on purpose, and he said this was even worse because I didn't care at all. He said that everything I did after confessing meant nothing and just made him think I am selfish, self-centered, and lack any sort of self-respect. I asked him if we could work on myself and our marriage, but he said we can have counseling to sort ourselves out, but the marriage is over. He said he wishes no ill on me and decided to cut his charade because he could no longer bear to the woman he once loved suffer like that. But he said I am no longer that woman. I started sobbing again and he held me, but he kept saying no when I asked him we work this out. I asked him what he was going to do, and he's moving out. He already found a new place. I asked him if he was going to live with that woman, and he said but she was close enough. I asked him how he could pick a total stranger he met a month ago over his wife of 5 years. He said his wife of 5 years no longer exists. He has to pick between two strangers, and that woman made a much better impression on him. I told him he was a fool and he could not know this woman will probably use and dump him. He got harsh and said she's better than me for sure. He said he won't say to our families our marriage ended because I cheated, but because we grew apart, and that he will leave the house to me as long as I make the divorce smooth. But if I try to take him to the cleaners, drag it out, or cause any problem, he will tell everyone what I did and destroy me and my reputation. This happened yesterday, and he has already packed up almost everything. I can't stop crying, and I can't believe this is happening. This is horrible and unfair. Got served divorce papers today. This feels like a nightmare. I keep telling myself it's not real, and I am going to wake up. My husband moved out 2 weeks ago, ostensibly to live with another woman, but I kept eye and eats on him, had some friends tell me his going-ons, and seemingly there was no other woman at all. I hoped he was just collecting his thoughts and that he would come back to me. But today he did it. He had me served. I don't want to believe he is done with us. I love him so much, and I miss him every day. New update. My husband and I are getting divorced because of my infidelity, and I realized I could have tried to salvage our marriage if I did differently after I confessed. Instead, my behavior just pushed him away further and resulted in us getting divorced. We have talked a couple of times since he moved out and I got served. He says that if I keep this level of civility, we can keep talking and not have to go exclusively through lawyers for communication, although we have to for the divorce. I apologized for everything I have done, and as much as I don't want a divorce, I will go along with anything he wants to demonstrate I do love him. And even after the divorce, my door will always be open for him. He said he actually believes me, and although he's not changing his mind about our divorce, he wishes for me to find happiness. He wanted to leave me the house, but I don't want it due to the memories, so we agreed to sell it off. My lawyer tried to talk me into pursuing all kinds of stuff from my husband, and get more, I just told them I don't want that, and I can find another lawyer if he wants to pursue that path. I am taking time off work for myself, and although I am not better, it helps to feel a less sucky. I heard from the grapevine that my husband is indeed in a new relationship, and at this point, I just hope this woman is making him happy and helping him heal. As for myself, I just want to focus on my new life and rebuilding what I can.